Hey guys, today I just wanted to do a video on doing your Saab 9.3 water pump. It's on the back down here. That's the access port. On the timing cover, there's 4 bolts on the access cover you need to take off. There's a gasket behind that metal plate there. And then you'll have your water pump, which is it's timing chain driven. So you'll need to get a specific tool. eEuro Parts sells it. This is your sprocket and this is your water pump. This is the side that goes facing out towards the wheel well. And anyways, so your non-threaded holes in the sprocket right here, that is where you stick your nut in, and then the threaded holes on the sprocket are where you place your tool. You thread the 2 studs in here, and your tool looks like this. So this allows you to screw those in like so, and then it holds the sprocket in place so you can release these 3 nuts right here, and then you can go about taking the rest of the water pump off. So you have one bolt right here, one bolt right here, here, and here. I broke this one, but anyways, so I'm gonna show you the most easiest way to do this. I've seen many videos here on how to go about doing this, and they tell you that you need to drop the catalytic converter and downpipe and everything like that. You know, what I did was I just took these 2 bolts off here, 1, 2 right there, and that's your bracing for your downpipe and catalytic converter. I mean, you have to take off your charge pipe that runs from the suction of the turbo and then feeds back into here. I mean, various like little things that you need to take care of, but you have your outside bolts here, 1 right here, and then 1 right up here, 1 here, 1 here, and that's the 2 on the back side of the pump. And you're gonna wanna pull this tube out of the way, and the way you get to that, go underneath, go to the top. Anyways, what I got going on here is I disconnected the banjo oil line, and then I also disconnected the cooling line that goes to the back of the thermostat housing. There are 4 bolts on the thermostat housing, and a lot of the videos say that you have to take this O2 sensor out of the downpipe, but I just disconnected it from the clip. A little bit easier. Like miscellaneous, like little shit, you have to disconnect. But there's 4 bolts on the thermostat housing. Sorry about the quality here. I don't have my lights on the underside of the car. So, but those are the 4 bolts. Right there, you have one real long one. In order to get that out, you have to move the downpipe out of the way. So, but you just have to shimmy this out of the way. You just pry it out of the way, whatever. Disconnect it from the inlet, or the outlet from the water pump down there, and then yeah, once you change over the water pump, you just go in the backwards order, pretty much. Torque specs for the water pump access cover, and the sprocket are 6 foot-pounds. I got all the specs right here. Turbo banjo fitting, 20 Newton meters, 15 foot-pounds. Downpipe to turbo, 25 Newton meters, 18.5 foot-pounds. Water pump, you got short and then the long bolts. They're 2 separate, so make sure that the ones on the front are the short bolts, which are 15 foot-pounds and then 20 Newton meters, and then the ones on the back of the long bolts, they span through the water pump itself, 18 foot-pounds and 25 Newton meters. Your water pump sprocket and access cover are both 8 Newton meters and 6 foot-pounds, like I said. Coolant pipe to thermostat, 10 Newton meters, 7 foot-pounds. Turbocharge banjo fittings. I believe this is for both the fittings, the water coolant line off the back of the turbo and the oil line. That's 20 Newton meters and 15 foot-pounds. This is just like a little checklist that I went putting everything back together, you know. It's a good thing to keep in mind. Keep all your stuff, label it, put it in bags, because it can be a lengthy job. It can be real frustrating at sometimes. I haven't had too bad of a problem. I mean, if you have big hands, it's not going to be really a good job for you. Also another thing, when you're going to just a little tip that I figured out just by doing it myself. Make sure you use magnetic sockets when you're going and taking these bolts out right here, these 3, because if you drop that down into the timing cover, you'll have to take off the whole timing cover and a couple of pulleys and stuff like that in order to fish it out. So it'll save you some time. Upon taking these out, it's not too hard. This sleeve right here, these 2 sleeves, they actually line up with the bolt holes on the timing cover itself. So you'll screw into this right here wherever the holes line up in these slots after you screw these in. So you'll line this up, you'll find the holes right here, you know, the 3 holes wherever it lands, and you just screw those in, and then you find your hole up here or down here. Just another tip and trick, when you're putting it back together, what I went and did was I just used this guide hole right here. I put in the first bolt and I tightened it up, and then I took this out all the way out, you know, and then so I knew everything was secured with that one bolt. It wasn't gonna go anywhere. Jeez. Anyways, so the next time I just rotated it one spot, so I had it right here first, and then instead of just going in blind trying to put these in while this was bolted in, I just rotated the tool like so, and I used this hole in the tool as a guide so I could line up the bolt better, you know, and just have like a little hole. And I did that all 3 times, you know, and it helps, you know, because if you set it up right, it just makes the job a lot easier. You don't have to worry about dropping the bolts in. I mean, I still strongly recommend using magnetic sockets. I didn't have one, so I just made one. I crushed up a magnet and I stuck it in stuck it in there use some glue, you know. I mean, it did its job. I mean, it's not pretty, but you gotta make do with what you have. I mean, I couldn't drive my car anywhere, so I just used that. But I also want to give you guys a better look on top here. So alright, so I'm back up on top here. You got my light, and as you can see, you have one bolt. Let me see if I can move this a little bit better. So you can see you got one bolt right here, then one bolt right there, and then one bolt right there. That's the long one right there, and then your last bolt is right there. So I might be mistaken on that one. I know that's your other banjo fitting for the oil coolant line going to the turbo. I believe this is your last. Yeah, that's your last one right there. I have that rotated so it kind of looks funny. Yeah, this one right here is a long one too. So yeah, I just wanted to make the video. I mean, I looked at a lot of videos and I couldn't really I couldn't see all of this going down where you had to take off the catalytic converter and everything like that, because I know these cars are getting old. So I mean, yeah, nothing I really want to deal with. I mean, you take those off and, you know, either that you won't ever get them back on. So but yeah, they're 3 bolts that hold on the catalytic converter and the downpipe there. Pretty easy to just get out of the way once you undo the 2 on the bottom. So yeah, I'm just gonna pause this and then I'll get back to you when I'm finished.